Okay, so it's been a while since I made a video. That's what happens when you work 6 days a week and many hours a day. But anyway, I saw an article that really got my attention and has kind of put me in a little bit of a good mood. So 150,000 federal employees took Trump's buyout and decided to walk out on their own, which is fantastic. The article goes on and warns about there's a brain drain in the federal government. Well, that's fine because that brain drain is a brain gain for the private sector. The private sector, I can't remember the statistic. It's something like for every government employee, it takes like 4 out of the private sector because you have to understand. So government doesn't run efficiently, right? There's no profit motive. It's just who can grab the biggest budget and all this bureaucracy and red tape and yada yada. But these engineers, whether it be with NASA, whether it be with the National Oceanic something Association, NOAA, whatever it is, those expertise could be much better put to use in the private sector. NASA, they can work for Blue Horizons. They could work for, Elon Musk. There are, as far as the people that work for the National Weather Service, they can work for, a lot of news agencies, right? There's private interests who want to know what's going on with the weather, et cetera, et cetera. And their mind would be better put to use in an area where there's a profit motive. So, with the federal government sucking up all this expertise to do whatever the government wants to do with their agenda, it's much better that the private sector can use it more effectively. And, like I said, we're all better off. We say, according to this, it says it'll save $28 billion a year. We got to make a lot more cuts than that. But anyway, it's a start. And there's a lot more I could say about, Hegseth, Secretary of War, some of the things that he said, which I agree with a lot of what he said, but that's a whole nother issue right there. But he did say that we shouldn't be recruiting people in the military that, quite frankly, don't belong in the military. So that's another issue. But the government needs to be cut back to make it more effective, and that is to protect people from their rights being violated either domestically or from foreign threats, right? They don't need to be forecasting the weather. They don't need to be telling you, what's toxic and what's not, because the private sector will just lobby that. And really, like things like the FDA is basically useless. So get rid of all that. Have the private sector do all this stuff. Cut the government back. All this diversity and inclusion garbage, get rid of all of it, and you got something that's more effective.